So we're actually doing the second video right now, or maybe the first, depending if I want to do that first one. We're actually at Widex, which is on the 11th floor. This is an audiologist shop. Price of doing ear impression here is actually 360 Hong Kong dollars for both ears. And yeah, I'll take you up inside. I wasn't allowed to take a video. However, he was able to allow me to take a picture. And yeah, I'll give you an impression what it was like. So right now we're back at home. I just want to talk how it was like doing the e-impression on the audiologist today. So first of all, this is the third time I've done an e-impression. For those who are doing this for the first time, I would say there's nothing to worry about. The audiologist will thoroughly check your ears to make sure that everything is fine and that there is no complications before doing this process. Information that you probably should know is that the e-impression, once it's made, can last for about 6 months before it starts to degrade or that it changes shape. So make sure that once you've done your e-impression, you do put it in a nice box that's protected so that you could be sending it to the in-ear or the place that makes the in-ear monitor for you for this custom. Typically an appointment should take about 30 minutes, which it did. I would say for me it was about 20 to 30 minutes. I wasn't able to take a video of what happened during that process. However, the doctor would allow me to take a photo of the materials that he was using to make this e-impression. So here is my impression of what happened or when I did this process. So first of all, you make your appointments, especially now. They double check to see if everything is fine. That means you don't have the COVID-19. You've not had any operations done to your ears before. And he will then ask you to sit down in a room and check if your ears are all fine, making sure that there is no problems at all or there's any earwax that will cause any issues. For me, I actually asked my wife to check if my ear was clean the day before, so it should have been fine, but he double checked it as well, which is what he's supposed to do. Materials that they need, as you can see from this picture, include 2 cotton wool with a piece of string, some materials, which is, it could be 3 types of materials for the e-impressions, which is vinyl polysilicone. Here are the 3 types: silicone singles, silicone and silicone firm cartridges, and silicas, which is a 2-part material packaged in a bulk container, it comes in 2 different colors, which comes in specific scoops provided, which I think was the one, looking at what I see from my picture, which is silica. So this is 2-part material packaged in bulk containers. It comes in 2 different colors, specific scoops provided. So with silicone singles and silicas, they can be mixed either by bleeding or by the hands, which is what the doctor did when he was making my one. So I presume it must be one of those. Obviously, we need to have the impression syringes, which you can see from here, which is 2, one for the left and one for the right. And then materials that they will use to check your ears. Now, what they need to first of all is to make sure and examine that your ear is healthy, or if there's any concerns, such as these are the concerns: impacted cerumen, so earwax. So I've checked that. Fluid discharge, bony growths, inflammatory conditions, prolapsed canal, perforated eardrums, foreign objects, enlarged canal, thick hair growth, cauliflower ear, swimmer's ear, and surgical ear. These are the things that might prevent you from getting these impressions done. So once they've checked my ear for the left side, they insert the cotton wool right into the end of my ear, such that it will block those silicone going directly past that point. And next, he then molds the white and green silicones cast together such that it will be soft, and then he inserts it into the syringe, and then he double checks again to see if everything's in place, and then inserts the silicone gel into ear. Now, before I actually did that process, the doctor would actually ask me if there's how would I prefer to do this e-impression. Would I prefer my mouth open or my mouth closed? The doctor was quite knowledgeable, so I asked him what's the difference. If you were to bite it onto a stick, then that means that you're going to get more of this silicone gel into your ears, so that means that it's going to be a more tighter fit when you actually have this e-impression. Alternatively, if you prefer a bit more relaxed and so less compact, then having it closed would be the ideal. My preference would be to have it open, such that when they make this ear monitor for you, it is actually mostly filled, which is the reason why you have a closer sound to your music, because there is the shell, the in-ear monitor shell is actually filling up most of your ears, hence drowning out the sound from around you, which is the purpose of this in-ear monitor anyway. So I went for open mouth. So once they've checked everything and they've molded and inserted that into the syringe, they then actually squeeze that material right into your ear, and which I felt was a bit cold at the start. And when it was inserting, I felt some bubbling sound in my ear, which is normal. And then after that, they squeeze it past beyond your ear such that it leaves the impression and make sure that it fills up all the gaps, because there are points that we're trying to get inside the ear such that it fills all the parts, which I'll explain in a minute. And after that, it will probably take 5 minutes for this gel to harden, such that it leaves an impression of what your inside ear looks like. And then after that, they will then go to the other ear and do the same process. While remember, I am actually kind of biting the stick. The doctor was very nice as to give me a piece of tissue in case of saliva that was going to come out. Luckily, nothing like that happened. Now, in regards to the e-impression, this is roughly what it needs to satisfy, such that you are fulfilling all the criteria of getting a proper e-impression. You really don't want to get an e-impression and pay the money and then realize that the doctor has not done the job properly. Or maybe, I guess, it might not be all the doctor's fault. When it goes to the company that makes the e-ear monitor, they may have chopped a little bit too off. Remember, I went for the silicone way. It is possible that you can also go with 3D scanning, which I couldn't find in Hong Kong. That would be my preference, by the way, go 3D scanning. And the only reason I do that is because it's digital, so that means I can send it to another company and another company and another company, so that I can get my custom ear monitor every time. Right, so if you look at this picture, this is taken from Westone. It needs to meet these criteria. The contour is round and full, and no pockets or voids, which the doctor actually explained to me about what their requirements are, so that's why I'm explaining here. The canal length is past the second bend, which mine was, as he talked about the bend 1 and bend 2. The helix is complete through to the tip, which is that part 3. And the tragus has been completely covered, which mine was, and the auto dam has imprinted completely across the canal tip, where the cotton wool would be to stop the silicone going past. And that is roughly what we're looking. And then after that, I would probably put this into a box, because I don't want it, because I need to send it to China. So I need to make sure that the impression stayed accurate as possible, because I really don't want to come back to the audiologist again, because it takes time to travel there and back. So yeah, and having then removed the e-impression, which is what the doctor did, which they slowly tilted a little bit, nudged a little bit until it came out, and then he explained to me what the expectation was and the requirement was to make a good impression. Obviously after that, he would then check your ear once more to see if there's anything left behind and that everything is safe, and then you are free to pay that rest of the money, and then you can leave, which is $360 per for both sides of the ears. And roughly that is what an e-impression requirement needs to be. And then after that, obviously you need to send it to the company that makes your custom e-ear monitors. It might take a month or 2 months or even more than that, depending how busy the company is. I'm just waiting for my one to be, well, my one has been sent. It should arrive in a couple of days, and hopefully I should probably get it back in less than a month. I've still not talked about what any monitor I went for, but this one is definitely that one that is recommended to be done in custom, due to the fact that this in-ear monitor is the only one that has a unique driver that has a bone conductor. Yeah, this is the only in-ear monitor that has a bone conductor. I've not even tried this in-ear monitor at all. But with everybody who's purchased the universal of this in-ear monitor, they've actually then sold it back out to go for custom because of this bone conductor. So I'm excited to be getting this product, buying this product, and with the discount that they have provided. Now the only reason I'm buying this is because this month is actually my birthday, so I'm kind of like spoiling myself with going for this custom. I'm hoping what everyone has said about this in-ear monitor to be true, which is that this is possibly another end game that even beats the Sony Z1R, which is like crazy. So yeah, so definitely video coming of what my final custom in-ear monitor will be like once that arrives. And here is some more video of the Imprssion that I got when I did it that day. Anyway, yeah, so nothing to be scared about. If you're really going the really deep end of in-ear monitors, then custom is probably the only way to go, providing you know that this is the sound signature that you want. Now in the next part of this, I'm going to talk about the benefits and negatives of going custom versus universal. Why would you want to go universal first? Just to see if that sound signature is what you want. But once you think you found that perfect in-ear monitor that you did like, then maybe going custom would probably be the benefits, as you are definitely getting that isolation and that better sound coming from this in-ear monitor, closest custom to your ears. Custom or universal? Custom is definitely the way to go if there is an in-ear monitor that you definitely like. But with this one, I've definitely not tried it. I can't even find this in-ear monitor in Hong Kong right now. That is how sold out this in-ear monitor is. So yeah, they've not had any distributors in Hong Kong. So that's the reason why I actually contacted them directly to see is there any way I can get this in-ear monitor for myself. And yes, the option was to go universal, but after deciding, I thought, wait, it's my birthday this month, I will treat this as a present for myself. So here is my Imprssion. Anyway, I'll be sending this to China in either today or tomorrow. I'll see you guys, and thanks for watching, and do subscribe.